Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue the trap series right here at BusyWorksBeats.com/trap. Today we're going to focus on 808s. Now let me resave this project so we can give you the project file. So don't worry about memorizing a bunch of stuff. So let's save this as 808s. Okay. And what I'm going to cover today is 808 slides, typical things about 808s. We're not going to get into every little variation of an 808. I feel like that's unnecessary. There's a couple main things you need to know. And if you want to go further, then we have a course for you. But what there is with the 808 is there's two main 808s right now in this time. And that's this kick type 808. And then there's an 808 that's more tonal. So what I mean by kick type 808 is that this 808 is acting more so as a kick drum, not a bass guitar. So this is acting more so as a kick drum than a bass. Now, can you give it notes? Yes, but do we really listen to the notes? No. It's more of we're just going with the vibration of it. So let's see, let's switch this up just so you can hear what I'm talking about. Like if I started giving this notes, if we gave this notes, it just takes away from the 808. Now again, I don't want to give you hard rules here. I'm just trying to give you the realistic approach. Now, if you do give it notes like that, it's going to be more of a melody in the bass line than anything else. Maybe your melody's super basic and you need something else to be a little more melodic. That's when you would add melody notes to your bass. But in short, this specific 808 that you'll get with the project files is meant to be a DaBaby 808 or like a TikTok 808, which is just straight to the point. It's not supposed to be like all over the place like a bass guitar. It's just because of the sample and the way it was made. Now, if you're looking for an 808 to be a little more tonal, then we have what's called the Spins 808. This is a classic 808. You'll hear almost everybody has taken from the Spins 808. I mean, even the Murda Beats 808 that you get from Splice is a Spins 808. Okay, so like it's just the most reused 808 ever. And the cool thing about it is that it has a knock to it. So you could just play one note if you wanted to. It sounds better in higher octaves, in my opinion. Hear that vibration? I feel like that's its best octave. But what you can also do is be tonal with it. So now I can go in and we can get rid of the 808s for the initial thing here. So I know I'm moving quick here because I'm just doing technical work. But now we can go to pattern 6. And now on top of the rhythm for the 808, we can give it notes. So let's give it like a 21 Savage type of rhythm. Okay, so now we can go in and give it notes because it's a very tonal 808. So first thing, I'm hitting Control up. I just have found that this works in a really high octave as opposed to other 808s that don't. So it's cool to be in this octave. Even if you drop it down later. So I want to go dun, dun. So we're going to go to the 5th here, which is G. And I want to go boom. So with bass, octaves are really important. So we're going from C up here to C down here. That's called an octave jump. Also in trap, half steps are really important. So going from one note directly to the note above or below, very important. Usually we go up in notes. So I want to go dun, dun, dun. Pull this down. You can hit shift down to move notes faster or shift up to move them up. Now let's say you're like, okay, it's too high pitch. You can hit Control down to pull everything down. Now I do think there's an octave where it's too low of an 808. Like this is too low in my opinion. That just sounds like that's way too low to where it's not even like, it doesn't have a boom and it's not musical. So what you could do if you wanted to revive that is grab those notes that sound less musical, hit Control up. Okay, So that would keep the same notes, but you're just inverting those up into a different octave. So that's the first thing about 808s. The next thing about 808s we'll talk about are 808 slides. Now in the Beat Magic course, we go over different slides per genre, like the UK slides, the drill slides, you know, and different little nuances. I'm going to give you general slides because if we get into all the different slides, it's just going to take away from the kind of the point of this video. Let's double click. Let's make this into a slide note. So what this will do is it takes whatever note's being played, and remember that the 808 has a body to it. So it's boom. So it will only last for boom until the sound fades out. So if I added a slide note way over here, but the 808 fades out by then, it's not going to slide anything because nothing's being played. So what I'll do is I'll add this right here. So it slides from wherever the 808 is, be like boom. So it goes boom. And then wherever you bring in the slide note, that's when it starts to slide. So it's boom. Okay, like a roller coaster. So I like to do this for different things. One thing is a quick kind of philosophy. If you don't know where to slide the notes to, is slide the note to the next note. Or you could slide it down an octave. So we're going to go from G to G in this case. So there's basic rules for 808 slides. Now slides are going to be really important because most of the music you like has pitch bends. It goes, ooh, you know, the West Coast music, the R&B, it has a lot of pitch bend stuff. And, you know, a lot of the bass wouldn't just be like, bum, 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 bum. It would be like, okay, it's a lot of pitch bending. So you want to incorporate that with your 808s too. Not every song requires a pitch bend, but, you know, just giving you the philosophy of it all. So here I would slide it up to that note. So this is a technique I like to do to create like a speed up effect, is add a slide note just before the next note. So it goes boing, ding. Now here I feel like pulling it down the whole octave kind of takes away the energy of it. Okay, so that's 808 slides. We went over 808 selection. There's two main 808s. Now, one more caveat I meant to mention here is that some 808s have kick drums inside the 808. So if you stack up another kick drum, it's kind of like overkill. Like, for example, I know for sure Brix's 808 has a kick drum in it. There's like something in there. Let me see if I can find a better example. I know for sure in one of our packs, we have an 808 that has a kick stacked. Like this one. You see that? Let's just open it up so you can understand what I'm talking about. What I did to make this 808, I layered a kick and then I layered a synthesizer. So this is actually a kick. So most people, they forget that sometimes people program the 808 to have kicks in the 808 and they stack another kick on top of the 808. Now it's like kick on top of a kick and the whole beat explodes. So just keep in mind that some 808s have kicks embedded into them. So you don't need a kick because the kick's already there. That's really it about the 808s. I mean, the last thing I could think of is tuning your 808. So if you now FL now has a tool where you don't have to do this, but you don't have to do this other way. But I'll show you just in case you're in the other versions of FL. So it's called Tuner, I think, TU. Okay. So if you hit just middle C or your comma button, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to options, go to typing keyboard to piano. You can hit the comma button. That's middle C. And now when you hit the button, it tells you the note of the sample. So it says you're playing the note F, but it's down 22 cents. So I have a whole video about tuning on YouTube. It's free to watch. I don't want to get too deep into tuning here, but let's pull this up 22 cents. And you can read the value in the top left. It says plus 22 cents. Now either I'm tripping or this thing is not. Oh, you know what? We're on fast. Maybe that's why. That's why. Okay, we were on fast mode. I was like, either I'm tripping or I'm tripping. So we were, okay. So now that I've put it on bass mode, so my apologies for that. Now I hit the note and it tells me we're plus 11 cents. So that means if I want to be in perfect pitch, I need to pull this 808 down 11 cents. So we're going to use the pitch wheel, pull it down 11 cents. I'm using that top left value. And now we're pretty close to perfect pitch when it comes to this 808. Now, what does this mean? It means now that I know I'm playing the note C, and I told you that when you hit the note comma, it should play the note C. If it plays any other note, you need to know why. So to do that, you right click, go to edit and audio editor. You go to this regions tab, you go to detect pitch regions, and it will tell you the key of the 808. Every 808's made different. Everything's not tuned to middle C for a different reason. And that's for sound design reasons. So in this case, the 808's tuned to C, which means you could just play the keyboard as you wish and it will play fine. Now, other 808s, like this one, doesn't sound like it's tuned to C. Let's open this up. Go to pitch regions and it says G. You're like, okay, it's at G. Like, why do my notes sound different? And that's because you need to tell FL that G is the root note of the sample. To do that, I just showed you how to find the root note. Now, some 808s even have two pitches. This is why I said it goes so deep, and I don't want to go too deep with you because it's kind of arbitrary. But some 808s go pew in the actual sample. It goes like pew. So it's not one note. It's two notes or three notes or four notes. So it doesn't know which note to pick. And you could have multiple notes in an 808. Anyway, go to the envelope tab. And I told you this one's, the root note is G. Just go to the envelope tab, hit root note. Under root note, hit reset. And the key thing, do not left click. You want to right click on G. If you don't know what G is, just keep right clicking until you see G. And then now when I play the keyboard, it plays the right notes. But if I didn't tune the 808, it would not play the right notes. And you have to know how to play by ear in that case. So that's something that you need to know if you're going to use 808s from all different sources. Not everybody's 808s tune to middle C, and that's because of the different qualities you can get when it's sampled at different notes. Okay, so that is everything I want to show you about 808s today. Rhythms we went over in part 1, so you can rewatch part 1 of this series to understand how to arrange the 808. As far as like all the details, slides, and different things, that's what. Let me show you one last trick before we leave here. So let's do the Roddy Ricch thing that he made popular. So what we want to do is just grab an 808 here. You can pull it down or up an octave. Hit Alt A, change your time multiplier to whatever you want, and then you want to right click the velocity under control. If you don't see that, just double click your window and grab the ellipses at the bottom of the screen, this little thing right here, and go to control, note velocity, right click and fade it up. So it goes, and that's the Roddy Ricch sound. So that's becoming popular, I've heard. So that's a pretty cool sound. Got to give it to them. Whoever thought to glitch their 808s. And I want to thank you for joining in with me. Next video, we're going to cover mixing for trap beats and just the core essentials for mixing. So thank you for watching. Tell your friends about it. They can go to busyworksbeats.com/trap to learn how to make trap beats for free. And I'll give you these project files so you can do as you wish to these. And yeah, so just click that link below. And what else do I have to tell you? Nothing. So I was going to save that as a zip. I just appreciate you. Thank you for hopping in with me. This is really fun going over the basics because this is what's going to, you're going to be like, wow, I forgot about that. Or wow, like I forgot I used to do this. And then your beats are going to sound way different. So peace out, guys. Thank you.